have been asked to facilitate, we'd like to see if the General Assembly consents to this. With our general practice, we would like to remind all the participants of the General Assembly that we come together in a spirit of nonviolence and choose to use peaceful words and actions at these General Assemblies. Thank you.
You're welcome.
In solidarity with all the people of all of the Occupy movements across this nation and around the world, we now ask that you take a moment to sit in silence.
Thank you. Okay. Mic check. At the General Assembly. We use a consensus process. To agree on all proposals. As unanimously. As possible. During this process, we use a number of hand signals. To silently convey. Our feelings and opinions. About what is being discussed. First is I agree. I disagree. Point of interest. Point of information. This is factual. You can also raise your hands. For less factual. Wrap it up. If someone's rambling on. Speak up. If someone isn't speaking loud enough. Well, we're not using the people's mic. Point of interest. Point of process. Means to stay on topic. If we have strayed. Clear. All right. There's another hand signal. Called block. There's been confusion. On whether we still use this. How do we feel about using this? For this General Assembly. Yeah, the block. Is for people. Who strongly disagree. And will leave the group. If they feel strongly enough. About this proposal. And if it gets passed. This should be used sparingly. So, clarification. Block is not. I don't like this. Or, gee, it's not my favorite. Block means. I think this proposal. Would fundamentally change. In a negative way. The entire operation. Of the Occupy movement. It is a matter of principle.
It's a matter of principle
and ethical values, not of simple preference.
Not of simple preference.
Clarification. Are we using this symbol? No.
Point of interest.
Yes.
We are in fact not. It is a point of interest.
We have combined
Direct response
and clarification into point of interest or point of information. Knowing what we do about the block, how do we feel about using it in this General Assembly. I believe that's consensus. Cool. All right.
Do you have a question?
Wonderful.
Block is extreme ethical concerns or safety concerns is like just a very simplified thing is if you have any ethical concerns about it.
Yes.
You have not included fingers in when someone is unsure about the situation. It's not a block, but they're not sure in consensus or.
I like this one better. So, somebody said that a couple weeks ago.
So as a matter of preference.
Sorry, mic check.
Mic check.
There are two ways to do this.
There are two ways to do this.
When we're taking the temperature of the group, we often use twinkles. We can twinkle up. When we agree. Or like. We can twinkle sideways. If we're unsure. Or a little flip-floppy. We can twinkle downwards. If we're not so great on an idea. When we do consensus. We also use twinkles. To show that we consent. If we are unsure. We can stand aside. Saying this isn't my personal preference. But I think that the group has the right to move ahead.
All right.
Sure.
Would this isn't my personal preference, is sort of the same thing?
This is the same as this. But if I see people doing this and this during consensus, it's hard for me to tell. That's why there's the difference. What's that?
So you're saying it's better to just do this?
No, you can do this when I'm temperature checking. I would prefer a stand aside when we're doing consent because it makes it easier for me to see people who have concerns.
Mic check.
When
we ask for temperature.
This is appropriate.
When we ask for consensus.
This is appropriate.
Is everyone clear? On the hand signal.
Yay! So, can we welcome any new members?
Do we have any new members here?
If you're new, if it's your first GA, raise your hand.
Good seeing you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Mic check. Quick point of information. Usually the agenda is on a nifty black and white board. However, someone is using the nifty black and white board. And it did not get returned. To the facilitation box. Located at Firestorm Cafe and Books. If you know of that person, or are that person, we would ask that be returned, preferably before tomorrow's GA.
preferably before tomorrow's GA.
Awesome. So we're going to have to do the agenda orally. Okay, mic check.
Mic check.
So we're going to have to do the agenda orally.
The agenda orally.
I know that's harder.
I know that's harder
For some people to keep things in mind.
for some people to keep things in mind.
Feel free
Feel free
to take a point of process.
to take a point of process
If you're unclear
if you're unclear
as to where we are in the agenda.
as to where we are in the agenda.
Mic check.
Mic check.
We do not have a note taker,
We do not have a note taker,
but we do have pen and pad.
but we do have pen and pad.
Do we have a volunteer?
Do we have a volunteer?
You don't get out, Max, either. Mic check. Mic check. Now we will start.
Now we will start
Working group report.
working group report.
The Treasury
The Treasury
is in a meeting.
is in a meeting
As soon as they have a chance
as soon as they have a chance
to send a delegate,
to send a delegate.
they will, and he will have a priority,
And he will have priority,
he or she,
he or she,
to speak
to speak
and give a full report
and give a full report
as we request on Mondays.
as we request on Mondays.
So that is delayed,
That is delayed,
but surely coming.
but surely coming.
If anyone else
If anyone else
from a working group
from a working group
has an announcement,
has an announcement,
we ask for a physical stack
we ask for a physical stack
or a line, starting here.
starting here.
Do we need a stack person? But sometimes if they have a stack person, well, that's something.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Martin
My name is Martin
with the Media Working Group.
with the Media Working Group.
We've had a busy day,
We've had a busy day,
as I'm sure some of you are aware.
as some of you are aware.
We have issued a press release
We have issued a press release
in response to inflammatory statements
inflammatory statements
made about Occupy Asheville.
made about Occupy Asheville.
I'm going to hit the highlights
I'm going to hit the highlights
so you all know what was said.
so y'all know what was said.
Occupy Asheville
Occupy Asheville
renews its call for dropping all charges
renews its call for dropping all charges
against Occupy Asheville activists.
against Occupy Asheville activists.
We denounce inflammatory
We denounce inflammatory
and culturally charged rhetoric.
and culturally charged rhetoric.
We believe that the heavy-handed tactics of the APD,
We believe that the heavy-handed tactics of the APD,
specifically recording our public meetings,
specifically recording our public meetings,
singling out activists after the fact,
singling out activists after the fact,
and disruption,
reveal
the actual attitude of authorities towards constitutionally protected speech, assembly, and community organizing.
assembly and community organizing.
Quote,
Quote,
it would be unfortunate
it would be unfortunate
if this incident and others like it would have to be discussed repeatedly in a court of law
would have to be discussed repeatedly in court of law
and in the court of public opinion.
and in the court of public opinion.
Naomi Archer.
Naomi Archer.
Such disdainful statements made public today
Such disdainful statements made public today
reveal an insular culture
reveal an insular culture
among law enforcement
that
leads to stereotyping,
profiling,
abuse and false arrest
of those in our community of those in our community
committed to reimagining our political structures and economy at large. You get the picture.
You get the picture.
Thank you for your time, and another quick announcement. Hi, I'm Martin.
I am Martin.
I work with the Direct Action Working Group.
I work with the Direct Action Working Group.
We're on a response
We're on our response
to all of these issues. Stay posted for more information.
Stay posted for more information.
On your media report, is the media committee putting out that statement that Naomi Archer wrote?
Naomi Archer and myself drafted a press release hitting the statements that I just read to you and have released it to the Mountain Express, WLOS. Are you not into that?
I would have, this is personal opinion, but before I made a statement that's so direct and comment, but I would have run it to the General Assembly for a General Assembly support of such a media release, because I think it's too inflammatory for a nonviolent position at this time.
Too late.
Sorry.
Well, that's the point of General Assembly and support of the General Assembly. If you're making media statements without the backing of the General Assembly, that's due process.
Point of process.
I totally disagree with you.
Well, it is too late for that press release, but there are others to come, and it may be something that we need to discuss. When we call for proposals, I welcome people to propose that.
Yes. Working group report. Is anybody else here from the legal team for today's meeting? Some of you guys want to come down and talk to our meeting we had today. I invite you to come down. I have some reports beyond the meeting, though, that need to be shared with the General Assembly. Otherwise, I'll just continue. Okay? Today, the legal team met in front of the federal courthouse to discuss legal positions and legal process and who we can talk to for legal representation. A few days back, I read a resolution of intent drafted to be reviewed by an attorney. The resolution of intent was in discussion of a class action suit recognizing City of Asheville as the one we'd be suing on First Amendment platform, as well as taking it to the United States Court for federal action in regards to the First Amendment platform. We met today with the former president of the ACLU, Bruce Elmore, who is taking a look at our position, our case situation, and a number of the factors, including his resolution of intent, for review to bring back to this group and for possibility of representing the ones who were arrested at the Vance Monument under consideration of First Amendment address in court. So at this point, we may have an attorney for legal representation and for guidance and strategy for constitutional authority of we the people. Any questions at this point for the working group?
No, it's great. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, recognize you. Who has a question? Do you have a question, sir?
Yeah, is that just for the visual or for the walk as well? Because we're being singled out for the walk and not being given our foreign.
There are issues in regards to all of that due process. That's the word to use right now in regards to what APD has done. They have a due process which the attorney will have to look and review, and that's being done at this point. There is more discussion to be had with some other lawyers that we are scheduled to meet with. But right now, that's as far as I can take you.
So when I am arrested, do you want me to come to you afterwards or who else is on because everybody has a different outcome.
You bring up a point. In the legal team, as we met today, there's the legal observer role, and then there is the legal activist role, meaning someone, they're looking to create a 5-person team or a 6-person team to address what you just said. so that you have someone to go to. It's all coordinated and communicated. Yes. And then there's the third part of it, which is direct with legal counsel for Occupy Asheville, as well as our position with the national movement. You have a question?
Not at this time, but in the future, will you make an announcement when you need any footage that we may have that may help support the someone who's not guilty?
Thank you for bringing that up. One of the things that she mentioned about video footage, one of the things that we have mentioned is trying to create a video core for all members of Occupy Asheville. If you take video footage and you can upload it, that it goes to what I'll call a video bank for us to legally review and hopefully get in front of attorney for appropriate due process for our defense.
Is this something that could be addressed to him personally?
I don't know. I don't know if it's about the video, but also has to do with ego.
Question. Go ahead.
I really like about this videos related to helping out with things. Videos are a really good way to help us out, but it's also what I've noticed on the internet is also incriminating.
This is one of the reasons why it needs to go through a review so that we begin an education process, and that was very important in today's meeting, that we've got to go through legal education to all participants of Occupy Asheville.
All right, cool.
Me?
Thank you.
Oh. Stop talking about me.
I have more to say about the legal support team. I'm in line to do that, so hopefully I will answer some of the questions that are still here.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Mes amis.
Mes amis.
My name is Amber.
My name is Amber.
I'm also with the Direct Action Affinity Group.
I'm also with the Direct Action Affinity Group.
And I wanted to give
a
report back
on
our two awesome
actions
that happened this weekend. They were both a great success. And I hope that you all had a chance to participate. And I would like to thank you for your enthusiasm with this movement and our cause. Thank you.
My name is Matthew.
My name is Matthew.
I'm with the Solutions and Visions Working Group.
With the Solutions and Visions Working Group.
We didn't have a lot of progress this week.
Only 3
people showed up to the meeting. Every Sunday at 11 o'clock.
Every Sunday at 11.
At the Wall Street Cafe and Emporium.
At the Wall Street Cafe and Emporium.
We did have one proposal. That is going to be integrated into our current draft.
It's going to be integrated into our current draft.
We have not found any solutions. That have actually been presented to the public by other occupations.
That's it.
I'll be there on the next.
So my name is Trevor, and today I volunteered for the legal support team, and it is different than the legal observers. From the meeting today, we decided that there will be a legal support team that, to my understanding, will have 2 functions. One is we've now had quite a few people arrested, and the legal support team will be able to go to tell if you've been arrested, if the rest of us don't know, which hopefully won't happen. And the legal support team will be keeping track of court dates and making sure that people feel supported and that information is in a place where we can bring it to meeting and let people know. Sarah? I'm sorry, what? Oh, okay. One of the 2 purposes of the legal support team is to keep track of the logistics of arrests that have been made. The other purpose of the legal support team will be to get information about our rights when arrested or when we think we're going to be arrested,
and to consolidate that information and then spread it as much as possible. I left the GA early yesterday and was arrested. I didn't know it was going to happen. It was scary. That shouldn't happen again without us already knowing what rights we have and how to deal with it. So, thank you. Points of clarification?
I just had a point because I was the person who didn't fulfill my duty in getting you the information that you were going to get arrested, and that was because I didn't have the proper channels of communication. So I would love to get together and make sure that that information gets transferred better next time.
What's your name? And my name is Trevor Hoffendahl. So I see you and you on Zach, but as a response, like, I don't think it was your fault, and because I hadn't been coming to meetings, but because it happened, that's why we have a legal support team, to not let it happen again. Sarah?
So all those who have warrants still have warrants?
Yes.
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 Until further notice. I mean, I don't know if there's a warrant for me, because I was already arrested, so, but, yeah.
We have not. We actually, when we go down there, we will find out about it, and then we will come back to it.
Obviously not, so Claire had stopped down at the federal building today and had inquired about it. And from what we were told, he had heard a woman screaming, and it was coming from a house, and he thought the woman was being raped, and I think he got a breaking and entering. The person who was at the house called the cops. That's all that we really know. Oh, okay.
I can do it afterwards. Point of order, yeah.
So, Teddy has more details of what happened. Anyone wants the full story? Talk to Teddy afterwards.
Okay. Asheville PD did release a statement today that's been published on the Mountain Express. In response to a lot of our own complaints, they said that from this point forward, they will try and let people know they have warrants before arresting them. That way they can deal with it themselves. I spoke with the magistrate on Sunday, and it sounds like if you have a warrant, if you go to the magistrate, you can simply sign then without being processed and going through jail. So that is something that he could not guarantee, but he said you could deal with it without getting arrested.
Point of clarification, I had a warrant a couple of years ago I didn't know about. I found out about it. I did just that. I went with my mom and daughter, and they arrested me for my mom and child. So, yeah, I was told the same thing. So it could happen, but also be aware that it may happen. I just wanted to say, as a group, it's amazing that everybody's dealing with it, but I've made a choice. I have a lawyer. If anybody might want to make sure you take care of yourself individually as we evolve as a group, it may be a good idea to retain a personal lawyer, because it is you individually who is being arrested. That's all. I can't afford a personal lawyer.
Are there further questions for Trevor regarding legal support?
That need to be brought up in the entire group.
I think I have a point of view.
Okay.
Gordon Smith is meeting with the APD. Those of you on Facebook might have seen this. He's got a meeting with the police chief tomorrow. That is a one-on-one private meeting he was invited to, but he's trying to set up a group of 2 or 3 other representatives who will be our direct communication with the chief of police. I volunteered for that role, and there was one other person on Facebook whose name escapes me at the moment who volunteered for that position, and we could still have another volunteer or 2. It seems like we should have a volunteer from your group.
There's like a lot of overlap, yeah.
Are there lawyers that have came forth and said that they would help us or give us like reduced rates or anything? Because I can't really afford.
None of that. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Am I wrong? Yes, because that's what I got through saying earlier about meeting with Bruce Elmore, the former president of the ACLU. Lawyers looking into representing us and to address this issue. That's why I'm put that out there. But if I may address a point of information of what you just asked, I met with Gordon Smith today and Cecil Bothwell as city council members, and I've had discussion with them today on some of this stuff, and we will have further discussion. Yes, he went to meet with the police chief of Asheville Police Department today, and he's in discussion with police chief about what was on the internet today, and we had other conversations about community-oriented policing policy to support our position, and we will take it forward in discussion.
Okay, I just want to wrap up real quick. I'm not trying to talk more, but
okay. I have one more quick question for our legal helpers. Is anybody pursuing any legal action against the forensic woman who threatened our lives via lynching?
We just started this group today, so we actually have to work on it.
And real quick, there's a legal working group, and then there's me standing here as the legal support. I'm going to go away now. What I'm saying is that if you've been arrested, if you want to have your copy of your warrant and your charges consolidated with the other people, bring it to me, and hopefully soon there will be more, then we'll talk more. The other thing is that the legal support group will be getting information about your rights and spreading it to y'all. That's the two purposes of the legal support group. Come to me if you want to share information and to consolidate.
Also, another thing about the legal support group is legal education. It's about to know your rights before they actually arrest them. That's another thing that we're going to be working on.
So, I realize folks are super into legal. The restraining order issue was brought to us, and is the legal team willing to work on that tomorrow and bring back a proposal or a
It's not tomorrow. It's having legal review right now with Bruce Elmore, and he'll get back to us by the end of the week. It's not going to be tomorrow. We also have some other attorneys to be in contact with by the end of the week for more follow-up.
So, I know there are a ton of folks who have a ton of legal concerns. If it's something that deals with your own legal situation, can you take it to the legal support or legal working group? Thanks. We're going to go ahead and move along. If we need to come back to it during proposals, we can.
Mike check.
How are we going to find the guy?
Mike
I don't
check.
understand. Where is he at? Where to find him?
Working group will be having a meeting.
I know that, but
Having a meeting Saturday at 1 at Firestorm. Please come if you can.
Please come if you can.
We need support.
We need support.
Mike check.
Yeah.
My name is Dennis.
My name is Dennis.
I represent the Direct Action Emergent Needs Working Group.
I represent the what?
Emergent Needs Working Group.
What?
We went to the meeting tonight of the Finance Committee.
We went to the meeting tonight of the Finance Committee.
We established a process for receiving the disbursement of funds agreed upon by GA.
Whoa.
We established...
We can hear you. You're doing good.
Okay, we I'll just come up here. We established the process for receiving the disbursement of funds agreed upon by the GA, and also the fact that I am the head of, right now, and someone new will be there soon, only the Direct Action Emergent Needs Working Group. I'm not a member of the Finance Committee. I interact with that newly forming committee. That was established. The last time I spoke with you, we had spent $50 on kitchen supplies, leaving us with $44.10. We spent $24.86 on much-needed cleaning supplies, and that left us with $19.24. We spent $9 on gasoline for transport. We received $14 in donations from the general public, and another $3, which gave us $17 of donations from the general public. That left us with $26 when we started the meeting. We just received a disbursement for $120 total, leaving us with $146 that we will report back to you on, and we thank the GA for their generosity.
Lady City Council and County Commissioners meeting. Unfortunately, the city has chose to postpone, or not postpone, but not to have a meeting tomorrow. So those of you who are planning on going to the meeting, the next meeting will be the County Commissioners on the 15th, and the, Okay, I'm going to talk real loud. That way Keith can hear me up there. The city council meeting tomorrow is not going to be. It has been canceled. The next city council meeting is the 22nd. The next county commission meeting will be next Tuesday on the 15th. So we will definitely keep you posted. Thank you.
Hey y'all, I'm with Outreach. Just got the Indies latest copy with all of the New York City Occupy stuff and some different old articles about the camp, but there's updates on his blog. You guys should feel free to check it out and take care.
All right. Are you with the working group?
Hey, go get this one.
Okay, cool. Can we do mic check? Mic check? Mic check?
Jessica also talked about this yesterday. Subgroup of outreach. Thank you. It's trying to
come up with a Tuesday
to Tuesday
highlight of upcoming events.
Highlight of upcoming events.
So that as
outreach,
we have something to invite people to do.
we have something to invite people to do.
If you are a working group,
or an affinity group, or a caucus,
and you have something going on, that
that you want us to outreach about, please come talk to us.
There's room in the front if people can't hear well. Lots of room. Any other working group announcements? In that case, we're going to move on to individual announcements.
Please keep these brief. Please keep this to the point. Not topics of discussion, but things you feel that the General Assembly should know about. Just announcements. Physical stack over here, please. And
All right.
I'll get started. My name is John. I don't represent anybody. I'm a friend of Walt Horton's. Walton Horton, who some of you may know. Walt was terribly injured a week ago Saturday when he was struck by a vehicle a couple blocks down on Patton Avenue. I have been keeping track of him, and I have been stopping by down at the Federal Building to give his friends down there updates, and I thought since I was here I would stop here and fill you all in on his condition. Walt, after he was hit, was in extremely critical condition. There's practically not a part on his body that's not damaged. He has been unconscious for most of the time since a week ago Saturday. He had bad swelling of the brain, which is a real problem, but they've got that under control, and now it's time for him to start healing. He had 4 hours of surgery today, which is what brings me to town, on his legs. Both of his bones in the top and the bottom of his legs are all shattered, and they put pins in and put like a metal structure around each leg to hold it all in place. So just on his legs alone, he's going to be hospitalized or in rehab for at least 4 to 6 months. He also has damage to internal organs, which I'm not really sure how that is going right now. He also, the most severe thing with him is his head. He had a massive head injury. He is awake now, and the best news is that he did have a couple of moments of lucidity on Saturday. He was able to ask his nurse some questions. So that's really, really good, because if he had severe brain damage, he wouldn't be able to put a sentence together. But he did that. Since then, he has not been able to make his wishes known. He is mumbled, but the nurse cannot understand him, and he is not able to routinely follow commands like, move your hand or stick out your tongue. What they have told me is it's just too early to tell how severely his brain is damaged. So, but it is time for him to start healing, and no two people heal alike. And you might have one person who something like this happened to and it didn't come out well. Doesn't mean that's going to be the same with Walt. But they said it's going to take him months, if not years, to get over this. He's going to be hospitalized for months, and then he's going to have to go into some kind of a rehab place probably for several months after that. He's in really, really bad shape. But at least as of today, his injuries are not life-threatening. He's kind of weathered that part of it. He cannot move. He is not able to make himself known. He doesn't talk very well. He can't watch TV. He can't read. The only thing he can do is listen to music. So I've got an iPod that I'm going to bring up when I come back to town on Wednesday. And the only thing I know for sure is that there's probably not a single thing on my iPod that he would want to listen to. His musical tastes run to hip-hop, and after hip-hop, then he would probably want to listen to some more hip-hop, and when he was done with that, he would probably like to finish up with some hip-hop. So if any of you have music and the ability to get it from whatever device you have, MP3 files of hip-hop music, any way to get it from your device onto my computer into iTunes, and then I can transfer it onto the iPod. I'm going to try to take that over to him maybe Wednesday night or Thursday night. And how do I leave contact information? I'll talk to you in a minute. Okay. I don't know. It really depends upon. Oh, the other thing is, those of you who are his friends, you can visit him. He is still in the ICU. That's the intensive care unit, and they have fixed visiting hours. Like, I don't know what they are, but I think it's like from 9 to 9:30, and then from 1 to 1:30, and from 7 to 7:30, 5 to 5:30, like that. And you don't have to be on any kind of a family-approved list in order to go over there to visit him. What you do have to do is be as clean as possible, because you're entering an ICU, and not just for Walt, but for all the other patients there, they're terribly worried about infections. So if you don't have clean clothes, ask them if they can give you one of those throwaway scrubs or something to put on over your clothes. And make sure you wash your hands and your face. Say, John, why do we have to wash our face? And that's because when you lay eyes on him the first time, you're going to go like that. Just be sure you're as clean as you can possibly be if you go visit them. And do not go visit over there if you have a cold, if you have a cough, or anything like that, because they're really, really worried about infections. But I'm sure that he would appreciate hearing some friendly voices. I think the more stimulation that he gets, the faster he's likely to recover and the less lonely he's likely to feel. Okay.
Thanks.
I'm Patty Frost Jones, and I just want to make a quick announcement. Okay. Okay, Mike check.
Mike check.
I'm Patty Frost Jones.
I'm Patty Frost Jones.
And I went to Washington, D.C.
And I went to Washington, D.C.
This past weekend. To participate in the XL pipeline.
Protest.
And I just wanted to say.
And
it was an amazing success.
It was an amazing success.
And there were 12,000 people there.
There were 12,000 people there. Woo!
I went with about 30 people.
I went with about 30 people.
And I know some people joined here.
Yesterday.
To join with the occupiers to march.
To march.
And Jubilee is having a forum on Wednesday. Related to the pipeline. So if you're interested, please come. If you're interested, please come. It's 6 to 8. I think 6, 7. Okay. Thank you.
What?
I help organize Asheville Let's. It's a network of folks looking to share services, skills, resources without using money. There's going to be an orientation tomorrow at 6:30 at Firestone Cafe. That's the way to join. If you're interested, if you have any questions, see me.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll try and be loud. My name's Jim Barton, and I have 2 short announcements. I got a phone call this afternoon that Phil McKibben would like to come to Asheville on Wednesday, November 30th, and they would like it if we could pack the place. More details coming. It's just a few hours old. The second announcement is that I'm on a national contact list for Asheville to other occupies around the country. There's about 170 people on the list representing, maybe 60 cities. I did this because I'm good at that. I would love later for there to be an agenda item and be blessed and approved, and also maybe to have 2 other, not 7 or 17 other people, but maybe 2 other people to assist with this and get the information flow going back and forth. No decisions, just information. I might leave the meeting early. My email address is smithmillcreek@gmail.com.
Yeah. Phil McKibben? Was that the name?
Phil McKibben.
Yeah.
Phil McKibben is a climate activist who has done more to encourage people to take action against climate than anybody else. And he's the brain person behind the tar sands action. Thank you.
Cool.
Can you make sure that Jonathan has accurate?
Hi guys, my name is Cecily, and I wanted to address something that Matthew brought up earlier, which is the woman who was making comments on her Facebook about all of us. I'm pretty sure that this will be a unanimous vote for yes, but I did want to get some feedback before I went to the legal team and pushed for a restraining order. I've been through one before and I got granted a permanent restraining order, so I've been through this process. I would not mind going before a judge. In my personal experience, it's been a 2-part. There's something that's done behind closed doors with one-on-one with a single judge, and then it goes before a room where a group of people would then be invited to stand up and say and present evidence against whoever they were trying to get the restraining order upon. So could I just get a little bit of feedback of if everybody's good on this or how they feel about it? Okay. Awesome. And if anybody has not heard about this, I have flyers going around and I have one left in my purse so you can know exactly what's been said.
I think that it would be good to bring that as a proposal to this group.
Rather than, okay.
I think that we at least need to discuss how it interacts with our thinking about cooperating with authorities or not. I'm not thinking against that. I think that needs to be a discussion.
Okay. Cool. So we'll bring it back at proposal time. In that case, can we hold clarifications and points of interest, and we'll bring it back and propose it again?
We will add that to the agenda for this General Assembly tonight and get back to it after we're done with announcements.
Hello, my name is Natalie. What I have to say is related to what she just said. I'm not proposing any sort of restraining order or anything like that, but I did write up a letter that I sent to the mayor and to the city council. I posted it on Facebook for anyone who would like to read it. I encourage you to put your name on it, take mine out obviously, tweak it any way you like, and send it to them as well. I've already fleshed out basically the meat of the letter, so, you know, write your own or take mine, I don't care, but just the more feedback that the city hears from us and from citizens in general on this one particular topic, the better. So I encourage you to do that. Thank you.
Tiny personal announcement. I am working on, in conjunction with the Baptist Minister Guy Sales and Howard Hanger of Jubilee, a info session for religious, church, and spiritual leaders. It's scheduled for November 16th. We actually want to keep it 2 leaders at this point, but I would really love for 1 or 2 volunteers to help me get those invitations mailed out or hand-delivered. If anybody wants to find me afterwards, and I'll make sure that our note taker has my email address. I need volunteers that could work for a couple of hours on a computer or in person writing addresses on envelopes tomorrow or the next day, please.
Do you have any more personal announcements?
The direct outreach subgroup of the outreach working group has decided we're going to try and start holding our meetings at the federal occupation. And would just like to recommend other working groups think about that. Folks are holding that space. What if we use that space? So just something to think about trying. Also, another thing is I'm still working on the Occupiers Working Group. It's me and a couple other people. If anyone else wants to join, just contact me later. I'm always, during the day, I'm at the federal building, or I'm at a meeting.
I have one quick announcement regarding my involvement personally with press releasing. I've written a number of press releases in conjunction with Naomi and a few other members of the working group and the outreach group. You're welcome to take a look at all of those, and I've written like 10 of them or so at this point without running them through the General Assembly, and if that's a problem with anyone, I'd like to apologize for that, but I also feel that you can look at those on the website and decide for yourselves whether or not that any of that language has been too inflammatory and unrepresentative of our attitudes as a group. And I'd be happy to address any of those concerns and or step back from that role if that does not. It's just an open group. Yeah.
When's it meet?
It meets tomorrow at 6, I believe. Here. Wednesday at 6, I'm sorry. Wednesday at 6 here, and on Sunday as well.
2 o'clock.
There's a problem. Jay's moved to 6 o'clock.
GAs have been moved to 6 o'clock, so we'll be moving our meeting as well because that doesn't make any sense. I'll send out an announcement with some of the other members of the working group on holding open meetings. Please come if you're interested.
All right, I'm removing my facilitator hat for just a moment to make a personal announcement. Only in a figure sense to the 2 holes to actually take off my hat. So, as a member of Firestorm, we would first off like to say that we love you occupiers and we enjoy you using our space. And we think you're great. We also would really love it if you could let us know before you want to use our space, if you are a large group. Because sometimes we have other people using our space and they would also like some respect and for us to love them enough to reserve the space and not overlap. So if y'all can, advertise it to the whole group that something's happening at Firestorm. Cool? Yeah. Yay, thank you. And we really do love having you there. Okay, do we have a representative from the Treasury Committee? I have a really quick question about what constitutes a large group? 8 to 10 or more? Thank you. If you're going to take up more than like a table.
In the background.
Finance Committee?
Finance Committee?
Yeah.
Somebody to report?
All right. We had held finance and treasury until we had a very short meeting where we decided basically all we got to do was how to disperse the funds to the emergent needs campers, and we set our next meeting time for Sunday at 5 at the cafe that's in with Amazing Savings. Yeah. Do you have anything to add?
I don't particularly like Billie Holiday. Sort of like Wynton Marsalis. Not sure but it has already been brought up with the thing on the internet about person in the APD and the rope situation. It brought me to Strange Fruits, that Billie Holiday thing, and I would like to volunteer, and I plan to really bring the issue out to this person if I have to like Billie Holiday again. And I'm asking your approval because I'm 62 on Friday and I can remember a whole lot of things from my past, and I'd like to explain to this person the difference in the ropes. You use a rope for hanging and you use a rope for lynching, but there are some differences, and a lot of people don't know, and she doesn't know, and I'd like to be the one, if you would allow me to do so. And I want to pass it along to Martin. I will follow your cues in the media committee, but I am fired up, almost to tears and to laughter. Okay? And no,